What's up, fellas? Wednesday morning, Barstool Chicago office. Time for Wake Up Mintzy. NCAA tournament starts tomorrow. We're gonna be joined this morning by one of my favorite Barstool personalities, Big Ev. We're gonna go through the brackets. We're gonna fill out some winners. Freaking love seeing Ev. One of my favorite gambling personalities for sure we have here. Love following him on Twitter. Love his enthusiasm. I know you love this time of year. How you doing, Big Ev?
Mintzy, it's a beautiful time of year. It's some argue it's the best time of year. Championship week last week, just a plethora of games to bet on. Today we got more playing games, and then tomorrow's the Holy Grail. We know that. And even listen, I'm even dabbling in NIT a little bit. Once the tournament, like yesterday, today, but tomorrow will be full NCAA just tournament. It really is the best time of the year. It's the best gambling, probably like 2-week stretch of the year, in my opinion.
Oh, it's the absolute best. The conference tournament thing is, for true gamblers, is just unbelievable, especially the Thursday, the Wednesday, the Thursday and Friday especially, and the Wednesday. Hell, I mean, it's like when all those tourneys are in the round of 16 and the quarterfinals and there's like a million games. I mean, it's like a holiday. Last week was certainly crazy, and it just sets up Thursday and Friday. Man, can't wait for the NCAA tournament. Last night in the first four, man, look, everybody's been given so much shit to North Carolina for getting that last bid, and I understand it because the AD and the conflict, but it reminds me so much of when Ole Miss snuck in the last bid in the NCAA baseball tourney and made that run. I'm not saying Carolina's going to win the national title, but they were playing well. I know they had a bad year, but they were playing well in the ACC tourney. They came out and beat the dog shit out of San Diego State last night, and I'm North Carolina, Ole Miss, a little nervous about Friday.
Yeah, I mean, Mintzy, I was surprised to see the opening line as UNC as favorites. I thought even after a great performance, Ole Miss would be maybe like 2-3 point favorite. I was surprised to see that they were dogs. It's tough too because like these teams, the teams that have won these playing games, it seems like usually one at least goes on to win another game. Which that easily could be Xavier, Texas tonight. Those are two really good teams. Illinois will have their hands full regardless. But the UNC thing, it's like they beat the brakes off them, and good for them. Like I think they're more than capable of like even beating Ole Miss, and who knows, like they're on after Iowa State they could get matched up with down the road. Like they're obviously Gilbert's out for the year, so they haven't been playing their best as of late. So you never know. But to me, it's a separation of like them. Not like them. What they could go on and win the national title. It doesn't mean they deserve to be in. And also, they could have got blown out last night. It wouldn't have changed it for me. Like I like it wouldn't have been like I told you so. To me, it's still just they didn't deserve to get in. It is what it is. It's the way the world goes around. Like the Bubba Cunningham thing. Like it's he recused himself or whatever. But come on, like he walked out of the room and then he's going to be back in the room in 5 minutes. Like you know what time it is. Like,
and the fact that he gets a 6-figure bonus if they makes the tournament. Like
yeah, and it's his last it's his last year on the board. I think they said he's the chairman, whatever. It was nonsense. But because to me, it's tough. Like West Virginia, for like what a brutal week they've had from missing out the tournament. Their coach is gone now. But to me, it's like I think West Virginia or Indiana even could have done what North Carolina did last night. But yeah, I don't know. On the ACC, things weird with the quad one wins and they have this great net rating and all this stuff. But to me, it's like the games have to matter. I think that's the thing where it's like we're getting lost in like it seems like putting a team like North Carolina in this over West Virginia, Indiana. They're basically trying to choose the net rating over quad one wins and stuff that happened on the court.
Yeah, no. Okay, well, two quick things. 9:30, got Chris Beard from Ole Miss head coach. Got to catch up with him. Freaking awesome getting Ole Miss back in the tourney. I know we're talking about Ole Miss, but like Ole Miss hadn't made the tourney since 2019. Hadn't won a game that wasn't first four since 2013 when they won the SEC tourney with Marshall Henderson and those guys. So I'm freaking pumped. It'll be great to catch up with Coach Beard here at 9:30. I want to mention some stuff from last night. Moot Can't Sleep stream last night. Just want to say shout out to all the Gooners. We raised over $10,000 for Ben DiGiulio's family, for his sister. I cannot freaking believe I knew I was going to push it. Man, I went freaking nuts last night. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I ran a half marathon in 2 hours and 34 minutes last night. I had these clips, like for 25 minutes of it, I felt like there was a knife through my right lower back. And then Danny Conrad put the Theragun on, and Mook asked me to go shirt off at the end, and I did it and sprint in the end. But I just want to say more about not really my performance, more about the DeJulios. And I love Ben. He's one of the most beloved people at Barstool, and he's gone through just a brutal stretch that no one should ever go through the last 4 or 5 months, and just love the love and support we got from the Stoolies last night. I mean, raising over 10K, it went straight to him and his family. Powerful stuff, and my legs feel like freaking Jello today, but my jeans feel like Jinkos, baby. So that's good.
There we go. Mintzy, good for you. That really big. I actually I lived with Ben for like 4 or 5 years. True, I say this about the Julios. There couldn't be a better family to do this for, and there couldn't have been like a less deserving family to get such bad breaks they've had the last from. I've met his father a bunch of times. His father was a really, really great man. Him passing, going right into this with his sister is just brutal, but really, really good on you guys, you, Mook, and the squad to raise more money for them. I just hope everything works out. His daughter, his sister's an absolute sweetheart. Met her a few times. Well, she actually used to work with us. So good for you guys. I appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. And there was a moment last night where I got real sentimental when Ben was on the video after we got done, and he was just like talking about how, much last night brought a smile to his face, and his family appreciates the money. And it was, we're all doing the best we can in the world. And, when you can support great people and use this platform to do it, I mean, that's all, I don't know. That's all you can do, And so,
absolutely. Shout out to Julios, great people.
Yeah, and shout out Mook and Jacob. Jacob, I guess you may not have ever met. You may have met Jacob in here once. He was one of our interns last summer, but he did. He does paintings. He did a painting last night, and man, they bid over $2K for it.
Wow.
On the stream. And we had Hannah Montoya and Danny Conrad, Maresh and Mook and Goldfinger. Goldfinger ate like 18 hot dogs. It was like a thing. He had to eat a hot dog for every 100 given. But it was awesome, man. And, when Mook approached me about it, I was like, I know I'm going to sell out for it. I did not think I could run a half marathon. I was like, my goal, I knew I could do 6.2. I was going to try to stretch it to 10, but once I got to 10 or 11, I was like, man, I got to fucking do this. And
let's go, Mintzy.
Yeah, man. It's the first time I've gone chest shirt off at the end too. That was pretty funny. I've got the ideal marathon runner's body if there ever was one.
Looking good, Mintz. Looking good.
We're trying, man. Jinx has been help. Shout out Jinx, man. Jinx has been. I'm on the Jinx Frank team. I check in with Jinx every day, and he's really helped me. I mean, long way to go, but I'm very encouraged. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. All right, Ev, I got my bracket. I kind of want to run through it with you and fill out brackets, and we could kind of talk some gambling, mixing some gambling. Yeah. As always, we got our partners at DraftKings. I'm actually headed to Louisiana later today. We've got a DraftKings Sports and Social opening for March Madness at the Live Casino in Bossier City, Louisiana. My old stomping grounds, Ev. I did 4 years of sports radio in that area, so we're going to be doing it real big Thursday and Friday. Got a commitment from Tim Brando to come do the show with me Friday morning in that area, which ought to be really fun. That's a fun mashup there. He's been he's been the biggest North Louisiana. Some are saying the 2 biggest North Louisiana media personalities of all time.
Here we go. Yeah. Love that.
All right, we'll start. And we can touch on we're going to run through the bracket, but we can talk about the gambling too. As always, like I said, get on DraftKings. They got a promotion for March Madness. Deposit, bet 5, get free 150. Amazing. If you're a casual gambler, just wanting to dip your toes into the water, man, just put $5 on there. Bet 5, you get 150 to fire off. I mean, how can you beat that? I believe you're starting with the South. Alabama State won last night. They're playing Auburn. I mean, obviously, we both have Auburn. Duh. Yeah,
Auburn. This is one I usually don't love just gambling. I don't really. I feel like I usually kind of almost stay away from the 116s. Like that was usually I'm shooting high volume, but usually though if I stay away from those are usually the ones. I don't know, the big lines and all that I get kind of like. But yeah, I mean, Auburn's
There was a thing for a long time that the ones were covering 70 or 75% of them, but it's tapered off the last few years. It was a thing for a long time.
I know it's a big stat even just as of late with when the numbers are real big. Like I think it might have been like 28 was the threshold. And I know Norfolk, Florida versus Norfolk State is a bigger number than that. I think it's like 28.5, and Houston's like 28 or 29.5.
Damn.
So those are some trends, like the really big spreads. The one seeds do well.
Louisville Creighton. I'll be honest, man. Louisville Creighton feels like you feel like you'd see that in the second round as a 4-5 game sometimes. I mean, Louisville getting an 8 was bananas. Pat Kelsey was upset about it. He thought they were a 5 or 6, and then Creighton. I mean, really good program. Made a big run in the Big East tourney. To the championship game, we're winning that game, and then just the second half, the St. John's made 14 shots in a row. This game's in Lexington, Kentucky, so Louisville will have a home court advantage. They're like a 1.5 point favorite. Who you got here?
I've actually locked in a lot of plays so far, but this is one I haven't yet. This one I've been so back and forth on because I think Kalkbrenner is kind of like the X factor here, but I like just having such a defensive anchor like that on the inside who's veteran guy, like he's been a part of teams that have made deep runs before. I guess I'll pick Creighton, but I'm not. Obviously, for my gambling people, I'm not locked into.
No,
I'm making this pick for Wake Up. This is a Wake Up Mintzy exclusive. I'm not locked in this.
I'll go
Creighton because
I'm like flipping a coin. I mean, I don't really have opinion. Louisville does have home court. Pat Kelsey though, Louisville won they win 10 games last year. That's what showed the transfer portal. You come in, you can just flip the roster. I mean, unbelievable job in year one. If Pitino hadn't done what he did at St. John's, I think Kelsey had an argument for Coach of the Year. I'll go Louisville, but I don't really know. Michigan's Cal San Diego. Michigan only a 2.5 point favorite here. Vegas always knows everything. I mean, it looks like a rat line. This thing actually opened at 3.5, but I'm still going to go Michigan here because I feel like this is like the super popular upsets are always, sometimes people die on that hill sometimes. And I'm also concerned with Michigan having 2 7-footers. I don't know. Cal San Diego is not that big inside from what I saw. And so
no, they're definitely not. The only thing is they have played against big guys before, like UC Irvine, who's the other great team in that conference. They got a good 7-footer who they've defended well. And if you look in the past at some of these other matchups, they're not quite 5-12s, but even like you can find game plans for it. They're going to get killed on the boards. I'll go UC San Diego just because I don't like Michigan. But it's tough because Michigan, they just win every close game. That's the problem. Like I envision this game going down to the wire, and then Michigan finds a way to win by 6. You know what I mean? Like free throws, whatever. But I'll take UC San Diego just for.
I will say this, Ev. Every year, and it happened to Auburn last year, a team that wins the conference tournament and plays all those games gets, knocked out. Auburn lost to Yale after they won the SEC tournament. Yeah. That's in play for Michigan here. A&M, a 7.5 point favorite over Yale. Yale did beat Auburn last year in a 4-13 game. A&M's, they're good. They play really physical defense. I like Wade Taylor, but they've looked shaky. Who knows? They beat Auburn last week, but they lost to Texas in the SEC tourney. I'm still going to go A&M here, but I'm not doing it confidently.
Actually, this one, I bet Yale with the points already. I bet Yale plus 7.5. This coach, I forget his name right now. I think it's Patterson or something like that. Unbelievable coach. I mean, they've won tournament games. Like they beat Auburn last year. They, a testament to him too. They lose Danny Wolf, like an absolute stud, but they bring back 4 of their starters. They're still unbelievable. The thing with A&M that worries me is with a guy like Wade Taylor, who I absolutely love Wade Taylor, but he's too volatile.
No, he shoots a lot when he's off. It's bad. That's what I'm saying. He takes 20 shots, like 15, 20 shots a game.
When your best player is a high volume shooter like they have, he has a night where he goes 3 for 15. You know what I mean? Like that's recipe for disaster. And a team like Yale where they got the Greek kid who can light it up from 3, and Bang's a good guard. Like I think a good athletic guard who actually can hang with a Taylor defensively. I like Yale with the points, and I think they definitely can win. I think they're live.
I'll tell you this about A&M. I don't like laying 7.5 with them because they play a lot of 65-60 games. That's not a team you want to lay a lot of points with because they kind of play grinded out. Ole Miss, North Carolina. What'd you say, North Carolina? I didn't see it. So North Carolina, what are they favored by?
-1.5 North Carolina. Crazy line.
Well, I'm taking Ole Miss. Obviously, I'm taking Ole Miss because I'm a complete homer. I am concerned about it, though. I think Ole Miss does have a lot of seniors and a gritty team. They do, even though Ole Miss hadn't made the tourney since 19. They've got Sean Padula made it with Virginia Tech. Juju Murray has made it before with St. Peter's. I mean, they've got some guys that have been in the tournament. I believe in Beard, so I'm taking Ole Miss. I don't think I'm going to bet on this game, though.
Yeah, this is a tough one because obviously UNC has the momentum, but I think the thing that people are not giving Ole Miss credit that Chris Beard's obviously he's coming on the show. He's such a great coach, has obviously had a lot of tournament success, but Hubert Davis has too. I know Hubert Davis gets a lot of crap, and I get it. My guy on Twitter, really good college basketball follow, 3-point sniper, actually sent me this stat yesterday. Hubert Davis after last night, I think 9 or 10-1, he gets the spread in the tournament. So obviously they made that run a few years ago, but he's had success. Like he gets people give him a lot of shit, but he really has been a good coach, especially.
Yeah, I know Carolina. They were an 8 or a 9 seed when they made the run to beat Duke and made the championship.
Yeah, I think an 8 they were.
I'm not saying this team. They don't have. They had Armando Bacot down low, and they don't have that this year. But I'm still. I know, but I'm still scared of them. I just feel like their style when they go up and down the floor, they can get hot. And, so I'm a little nervous. I got Iowa State over Lipscomb, but I am worried about the Iowa State guard you mentioned being out. Obviously, we're going to run through each bracket. So do you have anything to add? I mean, we got a bunch of games to get through.
Yeah, I think I bet this Iowa State covers. I'll leave it at that. I bet them the cover number.
Marquette, New Mexico, one of the best first-round matchups. Fascinating one. Richard Pitino did a spectacular job. Mountain West is always a pretty good league. Marquette, they were top 5, top 10 preseason, but they still hadn't played that bad. I don't know, lately. I mean, they lost that overtime game to St. John's at home. They beat Xavier in the tourney. I mean, I think I'm leaning Marquette here, but this is another one I'm not gambling on.
I actually bet New Mexico, and listen, I did this with the thought that I feel like I just keep biting that Mount West worm every year, and it just doesn't go well. Thank God I was on UNC last night. I'm on New Mexico, and also for people, Cam Jones, Donovan Denton, unbelievable guard matchup. This will be a fun watch regardless. Good watch.
All right, we can fly because the rest we don't have to even talk about the gambling, but the rest of the bracket, I have Auburn over Louisville. I have that Michigan bracket. That's tough. I'm going Auburn over Louisville. I'm going to go it's so hard to take Michigan because I'm worried they're going to lose first round. I'll go A&M over Michigan. I'm going Ole Miss over Iowa State because it has nothing to do with me being a homer. I've got Michigan State will beat Bryant. I got Michigan State over Marquette. Sweet 16, I've got Auburn over A&M, and I've got Ole Miss falling to Michigan State, and I've got Auburn over Michigan State. So pretty chalky.
Yeah, I had Auburn. I had Auburn over Creighton, and then this is right where I had the upsets. I got UC San Diego and Yale, so it creates 12-13.
No, it could happen though, man. That's one of those. There's always those there's those pockets of the bracket where it can really break open.
So on mine, I was looking. I filled one out for ESPN for a challenge. UC San Diego over Yale, and that I took UNC over Ole Miss, and I actually have UNC knocking off Iowa State because I feel like they're just.
I think Iowa State's such a vulnerable 3 seed, especially after that injury.
But yeah, then I had Michigan State advancing to play UNC. I've Auburn, UC San Diego have Auburn. I have Auburn, chalky Auburn, Michigan State. I got Michigan State going the Final Four. Okay,
there you go. All right, moving on to the next bracket. Florida will kill Norfolk State. There probably isn't much to say there. UConn, Oklahoma is worth talking about, though. UConn's like a 4.5-point favorite. I feel like the average American public is just going to say, oh, UConn, Florida is going to be this great game. But, man, I don't trust UConn. I watched them play a lot this year, and I know they played a little better down the stretch, but, I mean, I'm not the big – Oklahoma did play a little better late. I'm going to go UConn over Oklahoma, but I feel like UConn about 4.5 might be kind of ratty. I think it's going to be kind of public.
Yeah, I haven't bet it yet. I think I'm going to bet UConn. I'm not sure. I'll pick UConn to win this game. But Oklahoma, Jermaine Fears, incredible player. Yeah, really like watching him play.
Yeah, that Oklahoma-Kentucky ending was one of the craziest damn basketball games I've ever seen. That that meltdown, but yet they still pulled it out. Colorado State, Memphis, 5-12 game. Colorado State is a 12 seed, a 2.5-point favorite. Neat Clifford, watch out for him. He has a chance to become one of America's darlings in this tournament. They've been red hot coming in. I mean, I think I'm taking Colorado State just because the line. I mean, I feel like they're telling you have to take them.
I am too. Bet them already.
Maryland, Grand Canyon. I've got Grand Canyon and Bracket Busters. I don't know if they can pull this off this year. I mean, we got them 22nd pick, so I was thrilled to get anybody at that point. And they won a tournament game last year. They're a 10.5-point dog, but I like Maryland. Man, Maryland, I like that crab 5. They're only 6 deep, but their starters are good. So I think I'm gonna go Maryland there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Maryland to win. I haven't bet it yet, but I decent chance I'm on Grand Canyon to cover. But I think Maryland wins the game.
Missouri, Drake. Drake's always like a trendy upset pick in the tourney, and they were 28-3. And I know McCollum, the D2 coach, has done a great job. They don't play a lot of guys. This line opened at 5.5 and is 6.5 now, and I feel like this is going to be a super trendy upset pick. I'm going Mizzou. I'm fading it.
I am too. I think this is one of those. I think the athleticism might be a little too much for Drake here. Yeah,
Texas Tech. I'm sure. If you have an upset, just correct me because we got to get through all these games.
Yep.
Texas Tech over UNC Wilmington. I got Arkansas over Kansas. Boogie Flan's back. The thing about Arkansas, look, they were 1-7 in the SEC at the start. They rallied to make the tourney, and they played pretty well down the stretch. It'll be interesting to see how Boogie Flan comes back because they were actually kind of struggling when he was there, and now it's his first game back. But I just don't trust Kansas, man. I don't trust them at all. Their vibes are weird. Bill Self's like bitching about their chemistry like he was last year. I got Arkansas. I'm going to go Arkansas money line here. They're plus 4.5. I think it's some good value.
Yeah, I like Arkansas. I picked them in the bracket. I think I'm going to bet on with the points. I don't trust Kansas either. If Zeke Mayo doesn't have it, they got nothing.
All right.
I like Arkansas.
Run through the second round. I got Florida over UConn, Maryland over Colorado State, Texas Tech over Missouri, St. John's over Arkansas, Sweet 16. I got Florida over Maryland, and I got Texas Tech. Texas Tech is actually favored on a neutral floor over St. John's. Man, I know it's weird because St. John's is like the story's so big, but I'm gonna go. Screw it. I'm going to God, that's like a coin flip. I'll go Texas Tech, and then I'm going to go Florida to win it. I know I'm going super chalky, but I think the 1 seeds are just so good this year.
Yeah, Mintzy, I went the same as you. This bracket's tough because it has 3 teams that I absolutely love. Like, I've been a Florida guy for a couple of years. Like, I've been a Walter Clayton guy for a long time. I was on the Florida train early. St. John's guy, just New York guy. I'll always root for the Johnnies. And yeah, Texas Tech has been a team I've loved too. Like, I really like watching this team. So it's 3 teams that I would have in like different places. I might have ended up with all 3 of them in the Final Four. But yeah, I got pretty much the same as you. Florida over Texas Tech, go to the Final Four.
All right, next bracket, we both have Duke beating whoever wins that other play-in game. Yeah. Mississippi State, Baylor, tough one here. Mississippi State, a 1.5-point favorite. Kind of feels like a coin flip game. Fun stat, Mississippi State hasn't won an NCAA tournament game since 2008. Thought Baylor, they're up and down during the year, but that Edgecombe kid, that freshman, impressed me. Yep. And I don't think they're that bad. And I'm going to go Baylor. I think Scott Drew's a good coach.
Actually, I bet Mississippi State. I like him in this matchup. I love Josh Hubbard.
Yeah,
like the way they defend. As long as they knock down shots, I think they win this game. I think they'll defend well.
Oregon Liberty, interesting 5-12 game. Not a huge spread here. I think it's like 6.5. I've always been a Dana Altman rider in March. For some reason, it seems like Oregon. You saw those coaching stats. He has like some of the most coaching wins in March the last 10 years. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I will not be betting on it, and I'm not confident, but I'm going Oregon.
Yeah, I think they match up well. Liberty shoots one of the highest rated threes in the country. Oregon defends the 3 very well. I think a tough matchup for Liberty.
Does Akron have a shot against Arizona? It's 13.5, but Akron had a good team coming out the MAC. And, I know it's not supposed to matter year to year, but Arizona's known for choking in the tournament. They've certainly done it a bunch.
Yeah, Akron's getting a lot of love, like really a lot of love in the betting market. I'm surprised. I don't know if I bet. I'm gonna pick Arizona, but I don't know. I think the Akron love's getting a little out of control.
BYU's only, I believe, a 3.5-point favorite over VCU. This game's in Denver, so I do think the altitude and traveling out west benefits BYU. VCU plays awesome defense. They're top 5 in defense. They're going to have to defend the 3-point line like crazy against BYU. This is a little bit of a homer pick because we got an interview coming out with Ron Odom of VCU later today, and I've got a relationship with him, so I'm going to just use this as a spot to take a little bit of a mild upset.
No, Mintzy, I love VCU. Like one of my favorite plays in the first round. I bet them to make the Sweet 16, so I'm giving a little upfront. I plus like 380. I think they're very underrated. I think they were underseeded as well. 11 for them was way too low.
I like it. I got Wisconsin over Montana. They're favored by 18. Am a little worried about this one. Wisconsin played 4 games in 4 days in the Big Ten tourney. Their legs were dead Sunday. I mean, they couldn't. That game was ugly. They got to turn around. They got like an 11:30 tip in Denver at 5,200 feet altitude. Those sleepy Thursday early games are upset magnets a little bit, especially coming off a big week. I got Wisconsin to win, but I mean, I lean Montana. 18's a ton in the spot.
Yeah, I got Wisconsin. I think the tired legs, maybe they struggle to defend. I like the over. I bet the over.
All right. St. Mary's Vandy. I don't really know who's going to win. I feel like St. Mary's every year people get hyped about them in the tourney, and then you watch them play, and you're like, why in God's name did I take this team? And I know you've been kind of openly critical of them too. But I still think they pull this out. I watched a lot of SEC. I don't think Vandy's that good. I think they overachieved to get here. I also think they benefit from their very weird-ass home court advantage in that gym. It's just like a weird place to play. And I think St. Mary's pulls it out. But gambling-wise, over-under's 136.5 here. I could see this being one of those St. Mary's like 60 to 53 type deals.
Yeah, I bet Vandy plus 4, and I'm on the under 136.5. I agree.
Yeah, I don't trust St. Mary's laying 4. I mean, I think this could be like a low-scoring, close game. We both got Bama over Robert Morris, I'm sure. Second round, I got Duke over Baylor. Do you have Duke over Mississippi State?
Yep, absolutely.
What you got in the Oregon-Arizona game?
I got Arizona. I think Arizona, as long as they get through that weird first go to Akron, I think they're a tough team. I think they're good. Obviously, they're very volatile with Caleb Love, very like just high volume. But when he's hot, he's unbelievable. When he's not, he's bad. But give me Arizona.
I'm gonna go Oregon, just kind of being contrarian. I heard you say you already bet VCU Sweet 16. I got them over Wisconsin too.
Yeah, I love this VCU team. I think they're super, super underrated.
And then I've got Bama over St. Mary's. You have Bama over Vandy.
Yep.
All right, Sweet 16. I got Duke over Oregon, and I got Bama over VCU. And then Duke-Bama, God, for Barstool, the Barstool content of a Duke-Bama Elite Eight with Bosco having that bus trip on the line from New York to San Antonio. This is tough. I'm going to go Duke, but, man, the Bama thing, they're volatile too. I think Grant Nelson's going to be okay for the tourney. Obviously, Cooper Flagg too. But I just feel like, I don't know. Watch it. I'm gonna go Duke here. The Bama thing though, it's like hard to bet them because they're so volatile, man. When they get hot from 3, they can beat anybody, but they can kind of lose to anybody too when they're off.
Yeah, I love Duke over them. I think Duke has an inevitable feel to me. Like honestly, they're so good. If they didn't make the Final Four, I'd be shocked. Truly, I think they're that good.
Yeah, I've got 3 1 seeds already, the Final Four, but I just think the top teams this year are a lot. You look at these 4s and 5s and 6s, and I think there's just such a massive separation from.
I agree. I really agree, Mintzy. In mine, I think Duke's gonna make the Final Four. I think Florida is. I think Florida's that good too.
All right,
we'll talk about Houston right now.
Yeah, final bracket, and then we'll do Final Four picks title. Obviously, Houston's gonna crush SIU Edwardsville. I got Gonzaga over Georgia, but it's up to 6.5. I mean, that's a big line. But Georgia, not a lot of basketball tradition, really. Gonzaga's made 8 straight Sweet 16s. I'm kind of inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt. What do you think about that one?
Already bet Georgia. Love them with the points. I think that
it's too many, dude. It's too many. I don't know, and it's like
Newell's a lottery pick. I think they can hang with them I think they can outbig them too.
Well, my boy Will Wade, who we had the interview yesterday, taking on Clemson, 7.5-point dog. They were at 12 in America's Darling against Gonzaga last year and got smoked. The problem with McNeese, their center's 6'7". They're just small. And, I love Will. I mean, obviously, and I think he's done his unbelievable job winning back-to-back Southlands, but that's a dog shit league. And so I got Clemson here pulling it out. They're favored by 7.5. I don't have an opinion on the spread.
Yeah, I took McNeese with the points, but I agree it's a tough for them to win this game. I think Brownell's a good coach too.
Oh, no doubt. I got Purdue over High Point. I just think it's kind of a matchup thing. High Point, though, it opened at 10.5 and it's down to like 8. High Point's getting some serious run. You think they got a shot here?
Yeah, I took High Point +9. I didn't bet it yet, but I think I'm going to bet the over. I think it's a track meet because Purdue can't defend either. Purdue can't defend, and High Point wants to get up and down as well. So yeah, I took High Point +9. I got, and then I like the over as well in the game.
Illinois plays the winner of Texas Xavier. I don't know who wins Texas Xavier. I slightly lean Xavier, especially they're kind of at home in Dayton. But Xavier's weird. There's certain teams that just do good in the NCAA tourney, and they're one of them. But I got Xavier or Texas, the winner, pulling out a little bit of an upset here. I don't really believe in the Illini.
I do too. Illinois super volatile as well. Xavier wins. I really like it. But Texas got a lot, like Trey Johnson, lottery pick too.
No, I agree. I think the winner either one. I mean, Texas, they looked really good in the SEC tourney, beating A&M too. I got Kentucky over Troy, but man, Kentucky, Lamont Butler's trying to go in the tournament, but that shoulder injury keeps flaring up. So, I mean, he can't be 100%. I don't know if he can get through it. I know Kentucky's got the 10 quad 1 wins, but they've been so banged up. One of their best players is out for the year. I mean, I don't have a lot of confidence in them as a 3 seed, but I've got them beating Troy.
Yeah, same.
UCLA, Utah State's interesting. UCLA's like a 5.5 point favorite. I think I'm going to go UCLA because Cronin, and then you kind of mentioned it. I feel like the Mountain West, it's like every year they get kind of hyped and don't really do anything. So I think I'm going to go UCLA here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take you. I took Utah State with the points. I'm taking the bait. I just think these teams are a little bit different offensively. I think their problem in the past is they've been rock fight teams. And then when they can't score, they get blown out. And I think these teams like Colorado State fits this mold. And New Mexico definitely does with Donovan Dent. I think Utah State does too. They're much better offensively. So actually, I kind of like Utah State in the matchup.
Okay, going through the rest of the bracket, I've got Houston over Gonzaga, but actually, if it is, I don't know if Gonzaga gets to Georgia, but Gonzaga would have a shot against Houston, I think, because it's interesting with Houston. They play that rock fight style. And they always pull it out, but they're kind of can be vulnerable because the games are so low scoring. But I've got Houston. I got Houston over Gonzaga. Do you have Houston over Georgia?
Yep, and I think the difference with this Houston team is they have guys who can really score that they haven't had. Like they got Sharp, Cryer, and Uzan can all shoot the lights out, and they haven't had that in recent memory. That's why I think this team has a better chance to win it all than a lot of the teams they've had. Yeah.
Man, you got to give them credit, though. I feel like year after year what they built. I mean, dude, and they never lose in the Big 12. I don't know. I feel like as good as they are, I think they don't get respected nationally enough. This Clemson McNeese Purdue High Point bracket's hard to even pick a winner. I got Clemson Purdue second round. I'll go Clemson, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I got Clemson too.
I've got. Man, the winner, I think, like you said, the winner of Xavier, Texas has a shot to make the Sweet 16 because I think Kentucky's vulnerable. I'll go Texas or Xavier winner to the Sweet 16.
Me as well. I got it locked in. Me as well.
And then you have Tennessee over Utah State?
Yep.
Okay, Sweet 16. I got Houston over Clemson and Tennessee over Xavier, Texas. And then I got Houston, Tennessee, man. What first team to 50 wins?
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm going to go Houston there. I think they've got Tennessee. I know they've had so many good teams, but just they've been anemic to making this Final Four. So I'm going to go Houston here.
Yeah, I like Houston as well.
So I've got all 4 ones in the Final Four. Boy, way to go out on a limb there, Ben.
I'm not much different. I got 3 ones in Michigan State at 2. That's how I feel. I think the first few rounds are exciting, but I really think I agree with you. I think Duke, Florida, and Houston are a league above, and then Auburn's there. But Auburn, just the way they've looked recently, I'm just not as high on them as I was probably a month ago.
So I'm going.
State, I think feel good too.
Yeah, I'm going Auburn and Houston title game, but I'm kind of doing it as a strategy for brackets to fade because I looked at the stats and Duke's picked by 30% to win it all, and Florida's 15%, and Auburn and Houston are like 8 and 6. So I'm kind of like I've gone so chalky here that my strategy is to go with the other ones just because to win these brackets, if you have Duke or you know what I mean, everybody's got Duke in Florida. So even though I do think they're awesome, so I got an Auburn-Houston championship game. God knows who I think would win that game. Give me. I have no idea. Houston's playing in San Antonio. Auburn's got all these 23-year-olds. Give me Auburn. I'm kind of almost doing it though more as a strategy because I think they're very unpopular after the way they finished the year, and I think there's an overreaction.
Yeah, I took Houston. I think Houston upsets Duke in the Final Four. I think they kind of finally get that revenge from when Shed got hurt a couple years ago. I took Florida over Michigan State, so we got Houston, Florida final. It actually pains me to say this because I love this Florida team, but I think Houston I think they finally cut the nets down. They finally get it done. I kind of like the matchup. If they get Florida, I think Houston matches up well with Florida. Also, Golden, I don't think he's ever won a tournament game. It's like I said, I love this Florida team. I think it's tough to see a coach who's never won a tournament game just win the national title.
Yeah,
I think the only guy that's ever done it was Kevin Ollie with that UConn team, the outlier. And like you said, it's going to be in Texas. Yeah, I'll take Houston.
All right, there it is. Well, what you got planned? What are you Are you coming to Chicago to stream, or are you staying in New York?
No, we're streaming tonight from New York. The American Mount St. Mary's, and then we're streaming obviously the
Texas
Xavier. And then we'll just be in the office. I'm sure getting clips in New York. I'll be obviously be watching everything, gambling. So just looking forward to it. We're doing Pick Central at 11 Eastern instead of 12 not kind of flick with the games, to kind of lead into the games Thursday, Friday. So just fire it up.
Hey, Ev, like I said, love what as always, man. Unnecessary roughness, spinning back fist. You got a great role at Barstool. It seems like you're continuing to do well and crushing it. Always, I really appreciate you giving us your time this morning too, man. It's very nice.
Court Mintzy, pleasure. Anytime, you know that. Anytime.
Hell yeah. We're in a little long with Ev. We're going to go to the Chris Beard, Ole Miss head coach interview. And, then I'll be heading to Louisiana. We'll be doing shows from the DraftKings Sportsbook. And then we're going to do something Friday with Tim Brando, the broadcaster for Fox Sports. And then I'll be at the DraftKings Sports and Social watching games. Old Louisiana people, come see me. I'll be there all day Thursday and Friday. Come out, hang out, let's watch ball at DraftKings at Live Casino. It's going to be freaking awesome. Let's make some damn money on DraftKings. And shout out Dude Wipes, Amazon, Target, Walmart, all over the World Wide Web. I mean, one of the greatest products ever invented. You use them once, and then you're just like, where have these been my whole life? Do such a great job. Let's drink some Stella Blue. Let's have a hell of a day, boys. Here's the Beard interview. Beard, Ole Miss Rebels head coach, the Rebs back in the NCAA tournament. Hell of a second year. Fun SEC tournament there too. I got to say that Arkansas game got wild. Sean Padula, what a shot maker.
Yeah, that's a special play, man. He was like 0 for 5 in the game, but we practice that every day in practice, trying to get downhill late. He had the courage to pull up and shoot that shot. I thought a sneaky, really good play. The things nobody talk about is Dre Davis, I think, secured the rebound on the missed free throw, and then quickly got it to Sean in perfect position where he was already going downhill. So it's all those plays before the play that are probably more important than the guy that makes the shot.
No, that's true. It's easy for a fan like myself to just see the shot. But you mentioned the Sean Padula thing. He was off a little bit that game, but he kept shooting. Do you just tell him to, when shooters are off, just keep shooting?
Well, a little bit of both. I tell him make a shot from time to time. Make sure you're shooting a good one. So, but no, Sean's one of those guys like Matt, like Juju, like Brake, like others we have on the team that they want to be in those moments. And so I think that'll be a big thing in the NCAA tournament. You want to be aggressive, period, but you want to play well. So it's like victory favors the most aggressive team. And then if both teams are aggressive, which is always the case in the tournament, then it's going to come down to the team that makes the fewest mistakes as well.
Well, Ole Miss, Friday, 3:05. Tonight, got to be interesting for you. Got some scouting to do. North Carolina and San Diego State playing in the play-in game. I mean, obviously, you just got to scout and be prepared for whoever wins. You can't say that you have a preference, obviously, but I'm sure you're watching this game closely.
Yeah, it's been a unique perspective. I've never been in this particular situation, but just a couple of days ago when we got the bye in the SEC tournament, we were waiting to see if we played Arkansas or South Carolina. So We obviously did a pretty good job of that process, so we really are duplicating that. We gave our guys a very quick look at both teams this week, nothing too in depth. Therefore, when they watch the game tonight, they're not just watching it blindly. And then we'll start tonight. Right after that game ends, we'll have a quick session this evening, and really it'll turn into a 2-day prep for us, which is no different than most of our games this season. 2 days to prepare is plenty.
Well, how was the boy? It looked like quite a wild time at Funky's for the selection party on Sunday. Man, I saw that line was wrapped all the way around the square.
Yeah, it was cool. Oxford has so many special things about it, but obviously we wanted to be on the square. And I'm really appreciative of all the fans that came out. We had a great student attendance. I think it was they were coming right off of spring break, but a lot of those kids came back in town to be there on Sunday. A lot of our loyal season ticket holders were there. Really appreciate Lee and Brooke, what they do for us at Funky's, as well as many, many other places. So look forward to future years spreading that thing out. We got so many great partners and friends in Oxford, but obviously what Funky's does for all of Ole Miss athletics, we really appreciate it.
Shout out Lee Harris. I'm a fan as well. Great guy. Before I ask about the NCAA tournament game, I want to go back to that Tennessee home game because that win over Tennessee on senior night for Brake and Matt Morrell and Sean Padula. I mean, I was watching you after the game, and you were standing back just taking the whole scene in. I mean, that was looked like a very special night in the Pavilion.
Yeah, for so many reasons. Obviously, another SEC win, resume builder. A lot of respect for Tennessee. So you know you're playing against one of the best teams and best coaches in college basketball. And then the pressure of senior night. You know, Matt and Brake and others have meant so much to this team. Juju, we wanted it to be a special night for those guys and their families. And so we played well. We battled one of the best teams in the country for 40 minutes. It was one of those games that kind of whoever had the ball last had the advantage. I was really proud of that win.
Yeah, that was just awesome momentum to end the season. And so now going to the NCAA tournament, you got some pretty damn good experience in it. Do you have any, obviously Texas Tech, you almost wanted, incredible run in 2019, losing the title game in overtime. Any particular favorite memories through the years for you in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, so many. This will be our fifth different program to take to the NCAA tournament.
Man,
we took Angelo State to the NCAA Division II tournament, Sweet 16 team that year. So, our Little Rock team was special. The first round win against Purdue is something we talk about often with that team and that group. Certainly the runs we had at Texas Tech. At Texas, it had been a while since the Texas program had won an NCAA tournament game. Fun fact, we beat Virginia Tech in that first round game, and Sean Padula was the leading scorer on Virginia Tech's team that day. That game was also played in Milwaukee, so I've had a few chances this week to remind Sean that he made the NCAA tournament, but we beat him in Milwaukee.
Oh man, that's awesome. I didn't remember that stat. That's really something. Well, a lot of Ole Miss guys here on this team. I mean, Sean's obviously played in the tournament as you mentioned, but a lot of guys it's their first NCAA tournament because Ole Miss hasn't made it since 2019 and Kermit's first year. How do you prepare guys as far as just this is their first time on this stage?
Yeah, threefold. We just keep trying to explain to the guys that we've got to be the best version of us. This isn't the time of year to change offenses or defenses or try to be somebody you're not. The best version of us has proven that we can play and beat anybody in the country. You think about some of our wins, whether it be at Louisville or at Alabama, most recently Tennessee at home, a really talented Arkansas team that we beat in Nashville a few days ago. So just reminding the guys that the objective here is can we be the best version of us? Specifically with the NCAA tournament, we've got three guys that have played in the tournament, Barnes, Juju, and Sean. And then all those guys that haven't, just trying to educate them. The tournament's a little bit different, longer timeouts because of the TV contracts. We only get 40 minutes to shoot in the arena the day before the game. Can be a lot of distractions in the NCAA tournament with ticket requests, a lot of energy going on in downtown Milwaukee. So just I've always thought that preparation is where confidence comes from. And so we're trying to do everything we can to get our players prepared in any way, not just on the court, but all the things that come off the court with the NCAA tournament.
Okay. Well, I know some Ole Miss fans. I talked to Walker Jones, the Grove Collective crew, all heading up there. I think hopefully we'll get some Rebs up there in Milwaukee supporting y'all.
Yeah, I think so. The attention and interest has been great. We got several planes heading to Milwaukee. A lot of season ticket holders have been calling in, trying to get tickets. We just really appreciate it too. I mean, there's a lot of time and expense that goes into, supporting the team in Nashville, and a couple of days later going to Milwaukee. So just thank you to all the Ole Miss fans that have supported the team all year long. Thank you for everybody in advance that's coming to Milwaukee. We're 80 minutes away from getting to Atlanta the next weekend. So all sorts of good opportunities for our program here. And we really appreciate our fans, our students. It's been a real team effort here, year 2, getting this program back to where it needs to be.
No, I love how interactive you've been with the students too. I love you do videos. I know you go out and you meet them. It's been so cool to see, you go all in for the brand and, this pavilion being sold out. And, it feels like the fan base is super passionate behind you right now.
Yeah, it's a special place. I said when I got here, you could feel the momentum on campus with what baseball is coming off a national championship, what Lane has built and defended is real. Coach Yo playing another NCAA tournament this year. So we just wanted to do our part, but there was no denying the campus growing with enrollment, Chancellor Boyce's leadership, Keith's leadership in the athletic department. So a lot of special things going on here in Oxford. We're very thankful to be in the NCAA tournament. We have a good seed. Explained to the guys all year long how each game was important. To me, the NCAA tournament is the party. You want to get invited to the party, but you also want to go in the front door. It's much easier to try to win 6 games in 3 weekends if you have a front door entry, a good seed. And that's what we did, to be a 6 seed coming out of the SEC, arguably the toughest league in the history of college basketball. The resume we have, the signature wins we have, just really proud of our team and now excited to coach these guys on the biggest stage Friday afternoon.
Well, I'm just going to echo that and say I'm freaking proud of you, the coaches, the players, the fans. I mean, the energy y'all brought to Oxford, year 2, a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, going through the meat grinder of, maybe the deepest conference in the history of college basketball. Hell, 14 of the 16 teams are in the NCAA tournament. The record was 11 before that. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No. I mean, a couple of years ago, I think the ACC had some crazy bids in terms of numbers. But no, it's it started in the non-conference with all the signature wins, Ole Miss included. It'll be a really good BYU team. It's going to be a factor. Colorado State, I was saying from day one, they were an NCAA tournament team. I don't know if anybody ever believed me until now. Obviously, Louisville's had a special season. So we'll see how the league fares in this tournament. But I would predict you could be looking at multiple SEC teams in San Antonio at the Final Four here in a few weeks. Yeah, Mintzy, I like the pullover, man. Are you rocking the the polo under the pullover?
Today, Barstool, you never know what you're going to be asked to do. I had to be a sommelier. I get whatever that's called when you serve wine to people. We had a dating show earlier, and they asked me to dress up. So it was funny because I was struggling with corks and opening wine bottles. But yeah, so I tried to dress up and look sharp for work today, which is a very rare thing at the store.
Yeah, you look like you could be like the poster guy for Gentil, or like a kind of a J. Crew Gap type model.
There you go. Yeah. Let's get hot. 20. Yeah,
with the khakis, with the church shoes. I mean, that's a good look, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're on it this year. We're on the fitness grind. We're feeling good, feeling youthful, and I'll tell you what else makes me feel good. Watching the Ole Miss Rebels in the NCAA tournament back where they should be and getting to follow your journey in Oxford because, I hope you feel appreciated and your coaches feel appreciated and the players because y'all brought a lot of joy to this school and to this fan base. And, I feel like you're, all coaches, part of being successful is the grind and how much time and how intense it is. And so I just hope y'all are feeling the love and feel appreciated because it certainly felt that from y'all, from this end.
No, we all love it here. Most important group is the players. Oxford's a special place. Appreciate you too, Mintzy. I remember when we got the job, you were one of the first guys to text us support and belief that we could get this thing going. So it's always fun to remember who was with you in the early days, and you were certainly at the top of the list. So, man, thank you.
Hell yeah. Well, hotty toddy, Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard, Ole Miss 3:05 tip in Milwaukee Friday against North Carolina or San Diego State. Either way, they're in the big dance. Who cares? Let's go, Rebs.
When you hear Milwaukee, what do you think of?
I think of beer and cheese and sausage and brats.
You watch that show, Laverne and Shirley, growing up?
I've heard of it. I don't think I watched it. I think of the Brewers,
Right
too.
there. Yeah, they worked at the brewery in Milwaukee. That's what I always think of. I think Laverne and Shirley used to come on either right before or right after Happy Days. So one thing I would ask you is to keep an eye on Marshall Henderson, out there in Milwaukee. The next generation of the cassettes. And then when the DVDs came out, the first one I bought was Bob Seger, Greatest Hits, Volume 2. I've seen him live in person a couple of times. I think he's arguably the best rock and roll singer ever. You love his roots, garage band guy in Detroit. Never forgot where he came from, loyal to the people in his band, wrote his own songs. Man, Seger is the GOAT. I'm looking for an Ole Miss connection to Bob Seger.
I saw him on TV. He was at some Lions games. Because he obviously he's a Detroit guy. I saw him on TV at the end of the year at that. But I saw him on his last tour too. And man, yeah. But Matt Bauer said he came into your office one time and you were listening to Bob Seger and he was like, "You got to ask him about it."
Yeah, I think me and Bowers, we had him on the record player. I got a record player, old school record player in my office, and I think Seger was playing the day that he came in. And that album is The Night Moves Live. That's a classic, man. Like anybody into rock and roll ought to check out that album. Yeah,
I did a duet with this girl of Night Moves karaoke at this bar in Chicago last week that Bob Seger probably wouldn't have approved, but I had to at least try.
Do you have a video of that?
I will see if I do. I will see if one turns up. I can make that happen.
Could I get a copy of that, Mintzy, please?
I will. I'll make that. I will run it down for you, Coach. Well, thanks to Coach Chris Beard of the Ole Miss Rebels for giving us some time. Y'all heading up? I guess y'all head out tomorrow.
Head out tomorrow. Yeah, we practice here in the morning, and then get on the bird and head to Milwaukee.
Hey man, the Rebs up in Wisconsin. Well, can't wait to see it. Good luck up there. Obviously, tons and tons of people pulling for y'all, and the Rebs are ready too. A lot of experience on this team. Feel real good, real confident. Got a tough bunch, so I have a good feeling about this. All right, thanks again to Coach. Hotty toddy. Thanks again to Ole Miss Coach Chris Beard for giving us some time. I've got a Ryan Odom of VCU tomorrow too.